later on in our subsequent bulletins. Now, African Union Special Envoy Raila Odinga has maintained that countries in Africa must invest in infrastructure for the continent to realize socio-economic transformation. Odinga was speaking at the Africa Integrated High-Speed Railway Project workshop here in Nairobi, and Vincent Odor was following the session and now joins us live. Vincent, what are some of the highlights from that particular event?
Absolutely, the opposition leader, who is also African Union Special Envoy for Infrastructural Development, Raila Odinga, was the chief guest at here at Intercontinental Hotel here in Nairobi, whereby they were having the first validation workshop for the African Integrated High-Speed Railway Project, whose consultancy was launched in December 2018. And basically the project aims at interconnecting African capitals with one another and also with other economic and industrial hubs, together with major tourist locations across the African continent. And this is basically geared towards attaining the objective of the social framework that aims at enabling the African continent realize socio-economic transformation. One of the things that really came up is that Raila Odinga spoke on the need to really establish an African Development Fund where different countries in Africa will be able to contribute some amount of money in that fund to be able to finance some of the infrastructural development in the continent of Africa, because Odinga argues that they realized that in most countries in Africa, a lot of money is lying idle. Money is, like those from the sovereign fund. And he's saying if each country can contribute some amount to that fund, then Africa will be able to fund some of the major infrastructural development in the continent of Africa. Odinga also spoke about the need to really curb corruption, saying that corruption is derailing some of the major projects in Africa, because through corruption, people are able to inflate the cost of infrastructure, making most of the infrastructures to stall. And one of the things that also came up is the need to really cut down the issue to do with visibility studies, because Odinga argues that in Africa we spend a lot of money conducting visibility studies as opposed to spending that amount of money in actual implementation of these projects, and therefore countries end up spending more money on visibility studies instead of using less money to implement these projects. And the bottom line is the need to really invest in infrastructure in Africa so that Africa will be able to realize socio-economic transformation and also make transnational trade possible, whereby countries will be able to realize their greatest potential. Earlier on, Raila spoke to the delegates who were here, because it is a workshop that started yesterday and it is expected to end today. And today's meeting brought together experts from various agencies in Africa. That includes the Department of Infrastructure and Energy of the AU, and also the African Development Agency of NEPAD, and also experts from COMESA and other development agencies in Africa. And earlier on, Raila Odinga, as the chief guest, spoke on various issues, and these are some of the things he spoke about during today's last session for this first validation workshop.
That we will be able to move much faster if we actually transformed ourselves into a structure similar to that of EU. The will is there in the AU. And I believe that the Vision 2063 is also achievable. But a lot of work needs to be done to achieve it, particularly in the field of infrastructure. And here I'm talking about the railways, I'm talking about the highways, we're talking about the ICT, fiber optic networks in the continent, and energy. They also are dealing with air transport. That we want to create open skies in the continent. Yes. To me, this is what you can say the low-hanging fruits, which you can pluck quickly.
Therefore, this high-speed railway project is just one of the enablers of the framework that was geared and agreed by the African Union head of states, who agreed to really partner and also integrate ideals or ideas of shared vision and also common purpose for development with an agenda of 2063. And therefore, this is going to be an enabler of several flagship projects that African countries want to implement for the next 50 years, ever since they agreed on that in 2013. Therefore, this is a matter of wait and see, and get to see what they'll be able to achieve in 50 years' time. For now, I'm taking you back to studio.
All right.